This was my grandfather's, and he passed before I could ask him its history. It's made of fabric and thread. The ships appear to be World War I era dreadnoughts. Has anyone seen one or know the backstory? It's a commemorative plaque for the voyage of the Great White Fleet. The Great White Fleet was the popular nickname for the group of United States Navy battleships that completed a journey around the globe from December 16, 1907 to February 22, 1909, by order of President Theodore Roosevelt. It consisted of 16 battleships divided into 2 squadrons, along with various small escorts. The fleet's primary mission was to make friendly courtesy visits to numerous countries, while displaying new U.S. naval power to the world. Another goal was to deter a threatened war with Japan, amid growing tensions around 1907. The voyage helped familiarize the 14,500 officers and sailors with the logistical and planning needs for extended fleet action far from home. It was by far the largest and most powerful fleet that had ever circled the globe. What is this large steel chisel-shaped tool with the text Sierra Los Angeles on the side? I purchased it at a state surplus auction with a lot of tools. I'm guessing it had something to do with railroad equipment, but I have no idea. What is this for? It's a 1920s firefighter spanner used to connect hoses at the couplings. Since every firefighter has at least one, they can snug or decouple hose lines together. The wedge end is used to pry windows or prop open doors, and the opening in the wedge is used as a gas shutoff. Source: I'm a retired firefighter. What is this heavy cast iron found in a barn? Approximately 26 by 17 inches, it says Wisconsin on it, and rusty. I have no idea what it was. It looks like a frame for a storm drain grate. There is a major producer of them in Neenah, Wisconsin. Thanks in advance for the help. It's the platform from a late 1800s platform scale. These were sometimes called farm scales, barn scales, or grain scales. These are certainly highly collectible in my part of the world, in New Zealand, and happily fetch a couple of $1,000s. What is this tool from a farm estate sale? The rounded part is sharp, and the handle can pivot but looks like it's been in the same position for a long time. Any ideas? It's a trench crummer shovel or a crumb shovel from the 30s to the 60s. It was used to remove excess spoil, gravel, or soil from within any depth trench, cave-in, or the like without the need to climb down into the trench, particularly deep and narrow trenches, designed specifically to make the trench bottom clean and smooth. What is this thing found in a box of photography equipment? Potentially military, based on paint color. About 6.5 by 4.5 inches, made of steel, the central cylinder has a bubble level, with a rotating mirror mounted in parallel above it. The top is possibly just a handle, but it does swivel. The left side has a set of 4 screws mounted around the cylinder that might release the level to be replaced. The sticker on the left, with text that reads, "Made in Switzerland," printed in English. My friend who owns this has been trying to find an answer for decades. He's very pleased to know what he has. Any ideas? It's a striding level from the 1920s to the 50s. It was attached to the trunnion axis of the Wild T2 optical micrometer theodolite, parallel with the horizontal axis, and used by surveyors all over the world ever since Heinrich Wild created the first model T2 back in the 1920s. It is advantageous to employ the striding level for the accurate adjustment of the vertical axis and the measurement of the inclination of the horizontal axis. What are these wooden and metal tools of some sort, seen in a railroad museum? 2 objects that are essentially the same, but they are not connected in any way. It was in a small museum in Tunnel Hill, Georgia, that had artifacts mostly about the railroad around the time of the Civil War. I am assuming it is related to the railroad in some way. The object is mostly wood. The triangular piece is wrapped in metal, and the tip of one side is metal. I'm not sure what type of wood, but it appeared to be a hardwood of some sort. I asked both people working there, but neither had an idea as to what they were. Any ideas? It's an opener for sticky train car windows. Stick the point under the window, push the handle down, window goes up. I can't find a source to corroborate, but as a railroad enthusiast, I've seen similar and been told this is what they are for. What is this red tropical themed fabric with some kind of cotton padded insulated thing I bought at a thrift store? Around 12 by 12 inches, the brand is Macaw, Allen and Company, Irish Cabin, and nothing came with it. I have done several reverse image searches and searched the company name with no luck. What is this used for? It's a Guinness-themed tea cozy made in Ireland and sits over your teapot to keep contents warm while the tea steeps. That print is from the 1950s Guinness beer advertisements. They had a whole advertising spread featuring that toucan. They had a long-running and successful marketing campaign where the gist was that a Guinness a day was good for you, which they then morphed into a imagine what toucan do play on it in later marketing. The basic idea is if Guinness is good for you, just think what toucan do. What is this cylindrical ceramic canister I found at an estate sale? About 4 to 5 inches high, 1.5 inches in diameter, with a removable metal funnel that sits in the opening and a pin connected to a chain. The pin fits into the funnel, and there's a very small spout at the top. Any ideas are appreciated. It's a 1920s Chinese porcelain water pipe. This style of pipe was used for tobacco and cannabis. A lot of people sell these labeled as opium pipes because of the higher demand for opium artifacts. Water goes inside to cool down smoke from the material you're burning the metal bowl that goes in the top. What is this thing we found in the woods near what may have been an old homestead? About 24 inches in height and has 2 roughly 4-inch holes on each side. A screen on the front and rod through the top allowing it to swing perhaps. There's a shutoff valve on the back, but no idea what it would have been attached to. The thought was it was some sort of farm equipment attachment. Any ideas? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.